There's someone in your life who almost doesn't exist online. No photos, no updates, no stories. Maybe it's a coworker. Maybe it's someone you grew up with. Maybe it's you. And in a world where most people document everything, from their morning coffee to their existential crises, that silence feels unusual. But psychology doesn't just say it's fine. It says that silence might be one of the most psychologically sophisticated things a person can do. Let's talk about what the research actually shows. In 2019, researchers at Harvard Medical School used fMRI imaging to study what happens in the brain during social media validation. When participants received likes on their photos, the nucleus accumbens lit up, the same region activated by cocaine, sugar, and winning money. The reward was real. The dependency it created was also real. But here's what the same research revealed. A subset of participants showed significantly lower activation in that region when anticipating social feedback. They weren't broken. Their brains simply weren't wired to treat external approval as a reward. Psychologists call this a low need for social validation. People who don't post often fall here naturally. The dopamine hit that keeps everyone else refreshing their notifications simply doesn't land the same way for them. A landmark study published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology found a consistent inverse relationship between posting frequency and what researchers call contingent self-worth, the degree to which your self-esteem depends on external outcomes. The more someone's sense of value relied on others' opinions, the more they posted. The people who liked themselves most on their own terms posted least. Psychologists call this self-contained self-esteem. Your worth isn't outsourced. It doesn't live in your notifications. High self-esteem correlates with less posting, not more. The people who need to prove it the least are often the ones who have the most of it. A 2018 study from the University of Pennsylvania placed 143 students into two groups. One group limited social media use to 10 minutes per platform per day. The other continued as normal. After 3 weeks, the restricted group showed significant reductions in depression, loneliness, and anxiety. The researchers concluded that even modest reductions in passive scrolling measurably improved psychological well-being. But the mechanism is what matters. Social comparison theory, first proposed by Leon Festinger in 1954 and repeatedly validated since, shows that human beings instinctively measure themselves against others. Social media broke the scale. You're comparing your unfiltered reality against everyone else's edited performance. The game is mathematically rigged. People who don't post have largely opted out of that game entirely, and the research shows their mental health is better for it. A 2017 study in Computers in Human Behavior examined what researchers called the authenticity paradox on social platforms. Participants who reported feeling pressure to curate their online identity showed higher rates of cognitive dissonance, the psychological discomfort of acting against your own values. The more carefully they crafted their digital persona, the less authentic they reported feeling in real life. People who don't post have sensed this gap intuitively. There's a version of yourself you'd have to construct online, and it doesn't match who you actually are. Instead of performing that construction indefinitely, they stepped back. Not out of fear, out of integrity. Researchers at Carnegie Mellon University found that people with stronger privacy orientations reported higher levels of psychological autonomy and lower rates of decision fatigue. Every post is a small decision: what to share, how to frame it, and what it reveals. Non-posters sidestep that cognitive load entirely. There's also something deeper here. We live in a culture where privacy used to be the default and is now a deliberate lifestyle choice. Choosing not to share has become quietly countercultural. When someone asks why you don't post more, notice the assumption buried in that question: that your life requires documentation to be valid. That silence needs a justification. It doesn't. There's a psychological principle called the Zeigarnik effect, first demonstrated by Soviet psychologist Bluma Zeigarnik in 1927. Her research showed that people remember incomplete tasks and unresolved information far better than completed ones. Our brains stay engaged by what they haven't fully figured out yet. The person who shares nothing online is the one you keep thinking about. That's not an accident. Incompleteness creates intrigue. Oversharing closes loops permanently. Your mystery is not a gap. It's a psychological advantage most people are giving away for free. So the next time you see someone who doesn't post, don't assume they're hiding. Don't assume something is wrong. The research points in the opposite direction. They've answered internally the questions most people are still outsourcing to their phone. Their moments aren't less real because no one else witnessed them. Their life isn't smaller because it has no audience. They just figured out early what the data keeps confirming. You don't need to be seen to be significant. If that resonated, subscribe. Every week, we decode the psychology behind quiet behaviors and what the research actually says about the people behind them.